Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Doc Talk podcast with the Jabawi brothers. I'm Dr. AJ. Dr. MJ's on the side. What's up, man?
You always introduce me, huh? That's what big brothers always do.
That's the whole thing.
Can I
I'm the
introduce
alpha.
myself one time?
I'm the alpha. I'm
But
the
who
older
decides
brother.
on alpha? That color doesn't look alpha to me.
So what you trying to say?
No, I mean, it's beautiful. I love it. It's a beautiful hot pink. I love hot pink.
It's not hot pink.
It's hot pink.
It's coral.
If that's what you think in your
Coral or salmon. Depends on what your opinion is.
mind. When's the last time you had an eye exam? You definitely need an eye exam.
Did you not look at your scrub color?
I think this looks gorgeous.
I think
it's
you're
almost like my skin
confused.
tone, huh?
Yeah, it's a little bit lighter than your skin tone, bro, because
Yeah.
you're very dark.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
a nice tone, I think.
If you think
What's the
so,
topic
I think
today,
so.
man?
Honestly, the topic
Talk
is.
to me.
You want to know what it is?
Yeah.
Weight loss.
It's a big topic.
I think so. You know what? You know
It's
what's funny?
very broad, but there's a lot of things we can cover on it.
I agree, but it's a little bit personal to me because I struggled in my life with weight loss, to be honest with you, and I still struggle. I think everybody struggles with a little bit of weight loss,
Especially
at
as
a
we get
certain
older
point in
and the
their life.
metabolism slows down.
for sure. So with my journey in the last few years, I've actually lost approximately 60 to 70 pounds.
Wow, that's amazing, man.
Yeah,
Good
and
job.
thanks,
I'm
man.
proud of you,
Appreciate
man.
Thank
Seriously,
you,
that
man.
takes
Honestly.
a lot of hard work
It
and
does.
dedication.
It was pretty hard, and you know what? I think the whole thing about you got to pick the right diet, you got to pick the right exercise
There's just so much.
It
Patients
is,
are getting
it is.
confused. Keto, this, too many.
it is not healthy. Keto diet. You mentioned the keto. I think personally, I don't think the keto
It
diet
works
is
for
healthy.
some, it doesn't.
If you are looking to lose 10 pounds for a wedding, for an occasion, I get it. But long term, it is not healthy for you. But honestly, with my personal experience,
Yeah, tell me about it.
It's all about consistency. All right. It's a plan.
It's a long-term plan.
It really is a long-term plan. I never really looked at the scale, to be honest with you. There's certain people that weigh themselves
Every day.
every single day, which is actually frowned upon. I don't think it's a good idea.
Discouraging if every day, especially in the beginning, you gain a little bit of weight.
It'll fluctuate depending on what you eat. It'll fluctuate. Even if you're eating healthy, it's gonna fluctuate. But it's a linear program, right?
Also, AJ, there's people that have medical conditions that are also causing weight gain. They don't even know it. There's people have low thyroid. There's hormonal issues. And those things, sometimes you got to make sure you find a primary care
Yep.
that is actually, we talked about this, that actually cares and listens to you to make sure that we rule that out.
So, okay, well, what if the patient has a normal thyroid? All their labs are normal. Like
Okay.
myself, all my labs were normal. My cholesterol was normal. My thyroid was normal. My electrolytes were normal. And I still struggled to lose weight. I was exercising. Now, maybe I could exercise a little bit more compared to a lot of other people. I exercised a little bit more. But what I've realized is that every time I start a diet, I might pick a day to cheat. And the secret realistically is consistency, right?
That's why when you say
Consistency.
cheat, like you're doing long term. So
Yeah.
when people go, no sugar, no carbs for as long as, that doesn't work.
It doesn't
You
work.
need a realistic diet.
Yeah.
Something
It's
that works for you.
lifestyle modifications,
100%.
right? We're mammals. We're not really meant to eat grass and just drink water all day. But what we can do
That
is
would help
eat
us look good,
healthier.
though.
So, but you know what helped me though is every time I'd go for lunch or dinner is I'll take a plate and instead of adding a lot more carbohydrates to that plate, I'd add a lot more vegetables and greens. Okay, maybe a little bit more protein because a lot of vegetables have enough protein. So
You also prepared your meals too, right? Sometimes
I
like,
did. I actually ate a lot more throughout the day, about 4 or 5 times a day.
small
with
portions.
Smaller portions.
I would say like
Than bigger portions.
Yeah.
And I exercise approximately 4 to 5 times a week. Now I understand there's some people with certain conditions that can't exercise that much. So that what that means is the majority of their weight loss is going to depend on their diet. Okay? And what that diet means is that you can't go and just pick a Friday and a Saturday and eat what you want. I think initially the first few weeks is that you need to kind of balance yourself and understand what it is that you're buying at the
I
supermarket.
always feel like the number one thing that everyone always says is too expensive for me. Healthy lifestyle is too expensive. So I'm a patient. I come in and say, AJ, I only make this much a month and I can't afford those expensive whole food stuff. What do you recommend? What do you do? What do you tell them? Because
So-
I hear that a lot.
Yeah, but that's a problem. I think I don't believe in that, and I'll tell you why. Because grilled chicken, steak, pork chops, whatever it is that you eat, any kind of protein intake, it's going to be around the same
Stay
price.
away from pork chop, but yeah.
Pork chops are probably a little bit fattening. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, we don't eat pork. But anyway.
Also keeping things in your house. I noticed that was one of the biggest issues.
But what do you
always
mean
had.
keeping
okay,
things
for
in the
example,
house?
you're at home, you're hungry, and there's a muffin and
You are a muffin
Hang on,
lover.
time out.
You are a muffin lover. Don't stop.
hang on.
You know you are.
I love muffins.
You know you are. You love muffins.
you look like a muffin right now with your head. I'm like, I thought about biting your head, but
That's
I haven't
fine.
eaten.
I'll get you. I'll get
I'm
you.
fasting
I'll,
too.
I'll get
so-
you. I'll get you with
but
your fake curly
if
hair.
if you go home, right, you're hungry, you're starving,
Yeah.
and there's a I
Thanks,
can't even talk
Cupcake.
about
I'm gonna call you
muffin.
Cupcake. You call me Muffin. I'm gonna call you Cupcake.
Okay,
Go ahead,
come on.
Cupcake.
So if you got a muffin, I like muffin. I don't like cupcakes. If you have a muffin and a carrot,
Okay.
what are you gonna eat?
But I'm not gonna eat the carrot.
But
What
if
if I don't
those-
like carrots?
If those are in front of you, and I
Okay.
told you choose one, what would you choose?
I'm gonna choose the muffin.
Okay,
Because
so
it tastes better.
So take out the muffins out of the house
Yeah.
and keep only healthy things in your house. I always
But
tell my
w-
patients, like,
okay, what does healthy mean? You keep saying healthy things. What does
we
that
talked
mean?
about it: greens, protein.
But what if I don't like greens? Okay, dietary foods in general, foods that are healthy for you, don't taste good. So what can I do?
But you talked about it, consistency. Don't taste good in the beginning, but after you eat it for a long period of time, it might.
So
start
you're telling me
tasting-
if I eat spinach for a long period of time, I'm gonna be okay?
You might not, but I think I
You know
will.
what? It's for a skinny guy like you, but myself is trying to lose some weight.
When we were younger, you were eating the cupcakes.
Okay,
I was eating the
Let
spinach.
me remind you of those big bowls of cereal you used to eat.
Yeah.
Remember the Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the big bowl?
Yeah, those are my
Okay,
favorite.
okay,
I
that's
love
not- okay,
cinnamon.
that's fine.
We're talking about weight
Can I-
loss.
can I
by the
suggest
time
something?
we're done this podcast, I'm gonna gain 10 pounds. So let's not keep going down that
I
path.
know your hair looks funny, by the way.
Thank
today.
you.
Okay,
I
good.
appreciate it.
So anyway, you want my advice? My advice is for people is to start changing their diet habits, not necessarily salads, spinach with protein. I think that with YouTube and a lot of social media these days, you can look up a lot
so
of
much.
healthy
Learn
meals
it,
that
learn
taste
it.
fantastic, that
Yeah.
taste great, and that's what it is. You know what I used to do every Sunday? I would sit down and look at different recipes that I can make that are healthy, and then this way that allowed me to not get bored. And it will be more interesting. Every single time I'd eat something different. Which helped me a lot. So that's why my recommendation to people is to try to change your diet habits. Not necessarily just greens all the time, but there are a lot of other vegetables that taste good, a lot of other protein sources that taste fantastic that you can use that you don't get bored. Because
That's
once
what you were
get
talking
bored,
about. That goes
Yeah,
with
that
board
can-
and consistency. That's the
yeah,
biggest
they get
thing.
bored.
Yeah.
People get bored of normal salad diets and spinach and greens. We're not meant to eat that every single day, but you can try different forms of carbohydrates, good protein intake, good vegetables that can taste good and at the same time be healthy for you.
I
You know
think
what I'm
that's
saying?
one thing that we have an advantage in access also.
Yeah.
That our doctors are not just saying diet,
Yeah.
exercise. Patients, I feel like that's one of the most annoying things to patients.
Yeah.
You come
Diet
in,
and
you're a
exercise.
patient,
Yeah.
you're overweight,
Yeah.
you need to diet and exercise. Like,
What is it-
wh-
what
so
does that
I
mean?
paid you to tell me diet and exercise. You need to literally
Exactly.
break it down. But that's why we have dietitians, nutritionists,
Yep.
and we have the home center. And I think
Yep.
that would be something that we can do. If you guys are interested, let us know.
Yep.
We'll take like a little tour and show you guys what we have in the home center. It's
Yeah, the
wonderful.
Home Center.
Dr.
It's
Maria
our-
does a great
Yes,
job.
Yes, I agree.
And there's so much healthy in there.
I
You know,
agree,
you
I
cannot bring
agree.
your cupcakes in there, please.
I agree.
They
Or
will be very
muffins.
upset. Or muffins. Do not
Muffins.
bring it in
Don't
there.
ever call me cupcake ever in your life.
No, you look like a
Ever.
cupcake,
Okay,
but
thank you.
that's not the
All
point.
right, we'll talk later.
Yes.
Anyway, so we talked about Dr. Maria Scanziano's Welcome Home Center. My advice to you is if you have a patient that has arthritis, has issues with joint pain, etc. So what do you recommend on daily activities? How often should they exercise throughout the week? And can you emphasize a little bit between activity and exercise? Because a lot of doctors just say like, oh, just go exercise and eat healthy. What is that?
You got to find what's right for the patient. I'll give you an example. We talked about osteoarthritis on the last
Yeah.
topic, right? So if somebody has knee pain, you can't tell somebody go run on the treadmill.
Yeah, of
it
course.
doesn't
That
work.
doesn't make sense. Yeah, 'cause they're in pain.
I personally love aquatherapy. We're in Florida. There's pools
Great
everywhere.
idea.
Okay, they have silver sneakers. You can go to the YMCA. That's one of my favorite things because it's natural resistance.
Yep, it is.
So even if you had joint pain, knee pain, back pain, you can still do the exercises in the
Yeah.
pool. And even if you're sweating, you're in water,
Yep,
right?
yep.
So that's one of the things I like. But again, it goes back. Your primary care has to know you.
Yep.
Once you know the history, you know that they don't have a thyroid, they don't have a hormone problem, and they have knee or joint pain, then you find the exercise for them
That will
and
what
diet.
works for
yeah,
them. I agree.
exactly.
I agree. Perfect.
So AJ, you've
Yes,
lost the
Muffin.
weight, right? So can you tell us and share with us like what your favorite meal is and like if you choose that meal, can you share with the audience and the patients like what your recipe is? Maybe that would be kind of a good idea because at least to get started, like to kickstart it.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Honestly, the biggest problem with me was I love rice and I love bread.
I love rice,
right,
but
and in general, like carbohydrates, which is probably the worst thing for you.
carbohydrates and sugar are the worst two people together.
So what I used to do, to be honest with you, is I would shred zucchini.
Wow.
I would shred zucchini to a point where it kind of fills the pan. I would dry it out, and then I would literally just add a little bit of sauce with some mozzarella cheese. I would put it in the oven, 350 degrees, wait about 20, 30 minutes, okay? And it tastes just like a cheese pizza.
Oh, wow.
Literally. So you don't
So
have
without
all,
having to eat all those
those carbohydrates and all that bread.
People love pizza too.
100%. Who doesn't love pizza?
Yeah.
Right? So that's an option. Another
Mamma
thing
mia.
is pasta. It's good muffin. I like
Yeah.
it. Good.
That's pretty good, right?
Nice muffin. Thank you.
Yeah, I try to.
I'm gonna call you muffin. So anyway, so another one would be zucchini pasta. Have you ever tried zucchini pasta?
No, it sounds
Dude,
really good actually. though.
Phenomenal.
So there is ways to make foods that you like.
Exactly.
So,
And
dude, this is what we should do. We should turn unhealthy foods and find a way
Yep.
to make them healthy with the AJ recipe.
And that's the biggest
Why
problem
not?
that patients have is that they just don't know. I mean, YouTube, Google, Pinterest, there's so many different platforms that you can use with different healthy foods that you can use that doesn't give you all those carbohydrates. For us as humans, we want to feel full. That's the biggest problem. You want to feel full, you want to feel satisfied. If you can feel satisfied, now it might not taste exactly like a cheese pizza with all that bread, but you know what? You feel great afterwards. It tastes just like a pizza, almost, and you don't have all those carbohydrates added on to your daily, regimen.
Changes.
It's-
And honestly, that's one of the things I always say. Like for you, I feel like you started out with the diet. And once you start seeing the weight loss,
Yes.
you were interested into exercising. And sometimes it's very hard to start both, right?
Yeah.
Dieting and exercise. If you
exercise.
can do it, that's great.
Yeah.
But if you can start by dieting, change your diet, and then
Yep.
you lose 10 pounds, 5 pounds, and you feel the improvement, you're
Then
going to
you
feel
can-
guilty. So you go to the gym.
Yep.
And once you're in the gym, you feel guilty going home and eating the
And
cupcakes.
exactly.
So
Motivation.
Yeah.
MJ. It's all about motivation. Stick to your plan, right? And I actually recommend all my patients who want to start an actual weight loss journey is to take pictures of themselves right before
That's
they
a great
start.
idea.
Don't weigh yourself every day. Take a picture and then take another picture a month afterwards. See how you look.
I look
Okay?
great, but yeah.
Because if you see yourself every single day, you might not see much of a change. But if you have a picture that's 30 days prior and you compare it, that's when you actually see a lot of the changes.
That's the best advice. I always tell people, like,
sure.
if you're gonna compare, just look at your old. Like, if you were in shape at one point
Yep.
and you're out of shape now, don't look at somebody else that's a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Look at yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Motivate
Compare.
yourself through you because everybody's
For
different.
sure. for
Okay.
sure. Thanks, Muffin.
All right, my man.
Thanks,
Have a good
Muffin.
one. Cook
All right.
Cupcake in the house.
All right. Thanks, Muffin. See you later.